Hi, everyone. It's Melissa from Jacksonville Business Connections. Excited to bring another live interview. Today, we have with us Kate Reuter. Oh, hopefully, I said that right. If I didn't, she will correct me. A business coach with expertise in marketing and Facebook ads, and really directly towards moms. But she will explain that more um, in a minute. And also, a lot of you don't know that we just recently started our podcast. So, a lot of these interviews, we download them, we put them on YouTube, and now we've been adding them to our new podcast called Entrepreneur Adventures. And this is where you can just meet and listen to stories about other businesses who are discovering their journeys and their paths and passions along the business route. So definitely check that out on any of your podcast channels. And we would love to interview you too if you're a local business or anybody around the world. Kate, you want to just jump right in and tell us more about what you do and when you got started?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Melissa.
Oh,
It's a
you're
pleasure.
welcome.
And also being in Florida, I'm not in Jacksonville, but I'm in the Tampa Bay area in St. Pete. So many of you might be familiar with that area. I am a business coach and I work with moms. So I've worked with lots of different types of clients over the years. My expertise is in marketing as well as my formal education. And I also have a lot of experience with Facebook ads, which for any of you who have done them also means Instagram ads. And I've done some in Google ads as well. But what I do is I pull all of that background and knowledge in marketing and just a huge passion for creativity. And I work with my clients to help them grow their audience and their engagement and scale their sales.
That's awesome because I did fill you in a little bit about that. We are heavily in the event, doing community events. And for the most part, all I really do is boost an event, but I'm not sure what the difference of actually having an official ad versus just boosting that event.
Way
So
different.
there is definitely the learning curve there. And that's even something I would be interested in speaking to you about more and learning about down the road. But that's really awesome. And I know that a lot of the people that I work with and that I've met here in North Florida, they're always asking about those kind of questions. So I think that's really awesome that you specialize in that.
It's a
How did
pretty
you get
hot
started? Oh,
topic.
what was that?
It's a pretty hot topic.
Yeah, definitely. Because really, we're all so virtual now anyway. It's like you have to really market yourself that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of Facebook ads specifically, I kind of fell into that, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. I didn't sort of set out to build a business that, where I was really good at doing them. It just kind of came out of necessity of what I was doing at the time. But just to give you all a little bit more background, so I went to college actually at the University of Tampa and studied marketing there. Right out of college, I jumped onto the corporate bandwagon and into sales. So I worked in some high paying sales jobs right out of school for about 5 years. I did that. So Fortune 500 companies, really awesome experience. But I have this entrepreneurial passion that I've sort of always had, and it got the best of me. And I left that industry and I sold a bunch of stuff and I invested in my business. And confused everybody because they didn't understand why I was doing that. And I started my job and my role as a marketing consultant. So I was working with local brick and mortar businesses in the Tampa Bay area at that time. And I loved it. And I built my practice to a pretty full roster. And I did pretty well for a newbie, but I didn't get it to the level that I wanted to. And I just thought that it just wasn't going to happen. And I didn't really know what to do next. So I ended up going back to work in the corporate field for another company as a liaison on their operational side. And I worked with their digital marketing team and I helped them do global product launches.
Oh,
And
wow.
that is a local company actually out of Clearwater. And so I worked there for a good number of years as well. And that was great, but that entrepreneurial passion just kept knocking on the door. And I was married at the time, and we decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go back into building a business. And I had pivoted a little bit, but I did what I intended to do with that for like another couple of years. And then some challenges happened in my life. So, any of you who have, do know me or are familiar, which is probably not a lot of you, you know that I'm a cancer survivor.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 19 weeks pregnant with my first child. And
Wow.
that was quite the curveball. And I did get past that, and it's still something that I, think about every day.
Right.
But I got past that and had that baby who is now 6 and she'll be
Oh,
7 very
that's
soon.
sweet.
And we went on to have our second child, and that was a little bit of a tougher pregnancy. And then we went through a divorce. So I experienced quite a bit of challenging experiences in a very short period of time, about 5 years. And becoming a single mom and trying to get my feet underneath me and understanding what, a new life was going to look like was something, it was probably the hardest work I've ever done.
Right.
And going through that actually gave me a few things that I now use in my business to get it to the level that I never thought I could. And so that is kind of what I pull together and in my passion working with moms, because I know how difficult it can be to balance all the responsibilities and, you know, dedicate yourself to your kids, but then also have this desire to be passionate about a career. And that was me. So I had to figure all that out. And it took a lot. It took a lot of mental strength, we'll say. But that is what I found actually helps us succeed in business. And so
Yes.
going through that and all of the mental gymnastics and the thought work and overcoming fear, taking
Hmm.
risks, making big decisions, those are the things that progress us in business. So that is really what I like to focus on when I'm coaching my clients. I just pull the marketing knowledge and the Facebook ads experience that I have to build upon that and help them strategize with that. But digital marketing is now just the way we market. And so I was doing marketing consulting before Facebook existed. So the principles, however, are the same, but now it's just a necessity for what we do if we're doing anything online. So that's kind of the whole story.
That's awesome. No, that's like amazing. I loved hearing that. That's very inspirational. And you'd probably have to agree that with your own business and being entrepreneurs, the challenges are always coming, or the new avenue of like, okay, now which way am I gonna pick? And
All the
it's continuous, yes. And I was just actually saying yesterday that last year was like the peak of all our events and the peak of our business, and then all of a sudden this year it's like the complete opposite, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, that peak didn't last very long for us, but just like you, we try to pivot right away and at least connecting virtually with people. But I really think that's awesome. So tell me a little bit more about. So if you're working with moms who are starting their own businesses, do they come to you with a budget, or do you already have set programs that they have to like pick a program and then you work with them? How does that work?
Yeah, so the clients, I've worked with all kinds of clients just with the ads, the Facebook ad side of my business too. So when I was really digging into that primarily, which was, um, I did a few years of kind of getting to learn that platform. I would structure it similar to an agency where, you're on a retainer and then you have an ad spend over and above that. And then
Right.
with the coaching, what I found is that I can integrate that if that's something that they need or that they're ready for. But my coaching clients, I do offer a free session. So we do a free mini session one on one, usually about 30 minutes, where I get all of the details about what they're wanting to do, what they're looking to create, or where they are in their current business. And then I help guide them through what their next step would be to take that to the next level. That may or may not include ads. So, depending on where they are in business, we talk about that on that call, and I do that for free. And they usually have some pretty good takeaways from that call where sometimes they understand, just what they needed to, and then they're able to go ahead and move forward on their own. But if they do want more help, then I work with clients primarily on a 3-month basis.
Okay. That makes sense. The reason I'm asking too is because I just had a networking event yesterday, and one of the ladies was asking about this exact thing that you do. She is a mom. She was looking for more information on Facebook and Instagram marketing. So I will definitely send her your way so she can, if anything, get the mini session, see if that's a good fit or how the marketing will work for her.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. I mean, I can work with any clients, and I do have clients actually. I have a passion for music, so and I have played before and sing, so I actually have some clients that are in the entertainment industry who
Oh
do a
wow.
lot of online advertising, especially now. So, and then I have moms who are coaches, consultants, service providers, some that may want to do kind of what I did with building a business around Facebook ads, and really anyone who is tempted to push the boost button or has tried it and is frustrated by it. That's definitely someone that I can help for sure.
Okay. No, that's great to know. It's just like it's like a whole nother world. So like for me hitting that boost button on events, I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. But it's like probably 1% of the bigger picture.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
another thing. Do you ever offer just any general trainings or anything like that?
In
Or
terms of
workshops?
training on the Facebook ads platform, I don't have courses or trainings available yet. There are a lot of great resources out there, and it's kind of one of those things in business, this, that a lot of it is just going out and figuring it out yourself. And if you're willing to put the time in and the research, there's a lot of free information out there. So I may create something like that,
Mm.
but I don't really build my business around training on the platform. The
Right.
clients that I do work with, we do screen shares all the time. So they get pretty familiar with, how I do what I do and all that.
Oh, that's awesome too.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for any other business owners?
Oh, gosh. I'd say my advice would be don't hit the boost button until you consult with some ads manager or you do some research first. There are a lot of tools out there. And I would say, aside from that, my biggest takeaways just from what I've experienced have been, and I mentioned it before, but the ability to make powerful decisions is huge. And understanding why, as human beings, we tend not to do that is because we're afraid of what might happen or doing it wrong or feeling humiliated. And all of those fears are what get in the way of us doing big things. And so, as long as we understand that that's just because we're human and it's okay, nothing has gone wrong, go ahead and make the big decisions. And that will allow you to grow as a person and grow as a business owner. And when you get good at doing it, you sort of welcome them. You kind of encourage them. You're like, come on, what else you got for me? And that's when it gets really fun. So that's why I love doing what I do now. And that would be my advice. And also understanding why. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to be committed to this? What is most important to you in your life? Because when it does get hard and when you fail, because you will, you have to get back up and back on your feet. And if you know why you're committed to it and you know why you're doing it, that's enough of a reason.
That is awesome advice. I love that. That should just have been recorded right there for a video promo. That was awesome.
We can work that out later.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
then
I'm glad.
uh, one last thing, I'm curious if there's one little like golden nugget, the marketing tip for any of our followers. Is there any little thing you can share with us?
That's a good one. And I've seen a lot of sides of marketing. So I'd say the best tip I could give right now is that it's not about you, it's about them. It is all about who you're serving. If you understand the ins and outs of everything that your ideal client, right, is going through or your ideal customer is experiencing, you will do a much better job of finding them where they are when they have a problem and speaking to them about what they need as well as how you can help them solve it. So it's all about understanding who you want to serve.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there anything you wanted to share that maybe we didn't touch on?
I guess I'll also mention that I am the host of a podcast. So I released and launched the podcast the day that that coronavirus became a global
Oh,
epidemic, a pandemic. So it was in March. That's when I started it, and I release a new episode every week. It's called Passion Minded Mom. So for those of moms out there who are looking to start or grow your business, please head over to Spotify or iTunes. You can find me there and listen in. And I come with a lot of marketing tips and just
okay.
general other advice to that podcast.
I'm literally pulling up my podcast now. I'm going to search for it and I'm going to add it and listen to it because I definitely want to follow you.
I'm getting a little bit of Wi-Fi challenges. I don't know if it's on my side or your side, Melissa.
We're still live or not.
Ah,
Are you
there you
still there?
are. You're back.
Oh, yeah. It just had a weird glitch. It said it was a
Maybe
glitch,
because
and I'm
you were
like, oh
looking up my
no.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happens.
probably. Too much internet.
Yeah.
And, well, if you want to send me that link, I'll add it to the little description that'll be on Facebook and YouTube and our podcast. Of because right now I think I have your link for your Facebook and website, but I can add the podcast link if you want.
Yeah, sure. And you can find the podcast through my website and my business page as well.
Oh yeah, I'll just copy it there. Well, that's awesome then, and we did have some people say hi to us on the Facebook feed, so you're welcome to go back after and interact with everybody on Facebook.
I will do. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that interview, and I'd love to keep in touch, whether it's just through your podcast or down the road, maybe um, doing some kind of event together. We right now do a lot of like community events, but I would love to down the road when things get back to normal do some kind of more not necessarily a summit, but even something that's more inspirational where women or business owners come together and share their stories slash educate something like that.
Absolutely. That sounds awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
please
and
keep
it,
me.
yeah, definitely. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Melissa.
Bye.
Bye.